through a lot of crazy stuff in life right now, and you want to know something? I'm not completely mad about it. Going through stressful, life-changing situations, it's such a big wake-up call. And when you have a big wake-up call like this, it really makes you reconsider your priorities. Some people go through the majority of their lives without figuring out what their true priorities are. If you're new here and don't know our situation, we are Americans that moved to Vancouver, Canada because of my husband's job. That ended unexpectedly a few months ago, and we are struggling to know what to do next. We know we need to leave soon due to visa issues, but we have nothing concrete lined up. And if it was just me and my husband, I wouldn't care so much, but we do have 2 small children that we need to provide some sort of stability for. All of that to say, our priorities are being examined under a microscope right now. And as we keep coming back to the drawing board, trying to figure out next steps, our readjusted priorities are what we keep coming back to over and over. We know it's not about having a certain dollar amount in a bank account. It's not about having the fanciest career, the nicest home, the flashiest car. For me, one of my biggest goals is I want the luxury of a slow life. Simple living for me isn't about minimalism as an aesthetic, it's about making space for the things I really want in my life.
Why, hello there. I feel like I have this tendency to film videos when Billy is gone, and I've been thinking about it. One is because I just feel more lonely and like I want to chat and talk about random thoughts that pop into my head, and there's nobody here. Like, I call everybody that I know way too much also, but it's also just, I don't know, I feel more chatty, so I feel more inclined to pull up my camera and vlog. But the second reason is just because, yeah, when Billy's here, it's just kind of, it's not awkward, but it's kind of weird to like pull out my camera and sit here and talk to it when I have another human being here. So if it feels like Billy is gone a lot, he kind of is right now, but this isn't like my normal, usual life. Anyways, all of that to say, I said that backwards. Billy is gone right now. He is doing another audition in another place, and I don't even want to mention where he's doing his auditions just because people get too excited about it. I get too excited about it, and it's better we have learned to just not even think about it. Don't plan a life there. Don't count your chickens before they hatch kind of thing, because I've done that way too often. I will start looking into neighborhoods and like I will plan our whole life there, which is so silly because it very rarely works out that way. So Billy is gone, but also my kids are gone right now because they're at a play date and I have a few hours to myself, and I am just, I don't know what to do with myself because I want to sit on the couch and rot, and I want to sit around and do my hobbies, but I also want to get a bunch of work done, but I also want to clean my house. So what I did is I compromised and I sat on the couch for like 45 minutes, and then I mostly cleaned up my house. I still have to vacuum, and then I just went out into the garden for a bit. That's what I just pulled out my camera for. And then I am going to sit and try to get as much done until it's time to go pick him up. I guess I should probably eat something in that time too. But I don't know, I get so when Billy is gone, just because when you are the only parent for, 4 days, it's kind of a lot. I have a stress knot in my cheek over here. I'm also a little bit sick. Thank you, start of school. And I'm about to start my period, and just like the stress of life in general, whatever. But the sunshine is beautiful, the flowers are flowering, and it's just a beautiful day outside. So not complaining. I made a really nice little workstation over here for myself, and as soon as I finish vacuuming, I'm going to sit and try to get a bunch of stuff done. Okay, I have like 1 hour left, and then I need to go get my kids, which will definitely change how the rest of my day is spent. I also wanted to say that, oh man, my computer's dying. Thank you so much for everybody that has bought all of the digital downloads that I have, because obviously Billy has lost his job and we've lost our main source of income, and it just means the world to me and to us to be able to be making any kind of money on the side. And I'm not a good influencer. I'll get into that in a second, but I just feel like I've been talking so much more lately about the fall meal guide that I made and published, and my budget template and my sourdough guide, and it's one of those things where if you don't talk about it, you don't make any sales. And then if you do talk about it, then you do keep making money. And unfortunately, I am at a spot right now where we do need money. I just feel like it's so annoying and in your face, and it's just like the opposite of what I'm trying to say all of the time. But it does make a huge difference to us, and it just actually means everything to me. So I also find it interesting that, like, obviously most of my page is all about stop buying stuff that you don't need and how to be frugal and just how to live less consumeristically. But I also feel like I have pretty good messaging in there about like buying things that bring you a lot of quality to your life and that make you a lot of happy, and just being intentional about what you're buying. All of this to say that I realized recently, I actually had a phone call with an influencer marketer, and she really put everything into perspective for me and made me realize that I don't want to be an influencer marketer. Like, it's not in my heart at all. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. Like, there's a huge part of it where you are a marketer, you are an advertiser. And that is just not me to my core. I am not good at finding brands and building a relationship with them and flirting with them and talking about selling stuff all the time. My dream is to have like 10 brands that I genuinely love so much and that I genuinely use every single day. And I wish that I could be working with them and through that be making enough money to have this be like a sustainable thing, but that I'm not just always like cramming unnecessary stuff down everybody's throat. I don't know. God, you're never not gonna get a non-rambly thought from me. The point of this was that I am going to start posting more about brands, and it's just one of those things where recently I got a comment. No, I've gotten several comments. Like anytime I tag a brand in a story or something where they are incensed and so outraged that I am talking about any kind of brand at all. This is me putting everything out on the table here. I would love to work with some brands. I will never work with a brand that I don't genuinely love. I do think that there is some agency involved. I'm not saying that you should never buy anything in general. I don't know. Now I'm trying to justify myself to this crazy person online. Welcome to the world of being on the internet. I don't know. I just wanted to be so upfront about this. And I'm just going to have to be annoying and keep pushing the digital downloads that I have just to try to support my family during this time of like crazy transition. And we don't know what the heck is going on. Sorry to be annoying, but that is just where I'm at right now. I'm actually going to really get some work done now because my time is running out so fast. I was just talking a few moments ago how I wanted to work with more brands, and then this showed up on my doorstep today. So this is a company called Wildlings, and I love their company so much. They try to make everything as natural materials as possible, and they also really focus on having a sustainability mindset with their whole company. I genuinely love their shoes so much. We've gotten a pair of shoes for the whole family. I think it was 2 years ago, and my kids outgrew them, but they loved them. They are a barefoot shoe, so there's zero drop and there's just a lot of room in the toe box. And I just love barefoot shoes. I think they're very comfortable and they're so much better for your feet. That's my opinion. You can do your own research. But if you are looking for a good sustainability focused company that makes really good quality barefoot shoes, then definitely check them out. I will say the biggest con about them is that they are pricey. But again, it's that whole conversation about paying for something that is worth the cost of it. Most people aren't willing to shell out a lot of money for a pair of barefoot shoes. I don't know, then it feels silly because people are very willing to shell out a lot of money for like tennis shoes, sneakers that they think are cute and aren't necessarily even that functional. So whatever. See, I get so weird about sharing things to buy, but this is my problem. Like, I love them, I love their company, and I wear them myself. So I am sharing about the fact that I do like them. I need to get over this. So like I said, my kids outgrew their other Wildlings, and then these ones that we got, they're water resistant. So they're not completely waterproof, but they're going to be good for the wintertime, and they are wool lined, and they're really soft, and they're just so cozy, and I'm so excited to wear these this winter. This is not sponsored by them at all. I'm just excited because they just showed up today.
I posted a dumb reel the other day about how financial health and also just like being healthy are kind of two of the same industries, or like they have the same idea. Anyways, not important. But a lot of the conversation was around the idea that it comes down to your lifestyle. Like these industries want to try to sell you these individual nuggets so that they can make a bunch of money, and it doesn't actually solve your problems, because fixing one minute thing about the way that you're living, if you have a problem, isn't going to necessarily fix it. There was just kind of a lovely conversation going on about it, where it was like, this is about the overall lifestyle. I know when you are just starting out on a journey of learning a different type of lifestyle or a different way to live, it is very helpful to get nugget and like bite-sized pieces to be able to incorporate it and like get a taste of it for your own life, and then you can kind of start to run with it after that. But it is kind of strange to get to the other side of it and be living it so long, because it is just a part of my overall lifestyle. It's just so ingrained in my personality and my overall choices at this point that it took me a while to realize like, oh, I need to condense this down to little pieces to share to people that are just now starting to realize that they want to try to live this way. And I feel like the same thing can be said about slow living. Like, it's not an intrinsic thing, especially in our culture. It is just so hammered into us, especially as women and especially as young people. Like, there's such a big hustle culture going on, and there's just such a message of you need to be a boss babe, and you need to like be an entrepreneur, start your own business, blah blah blah. You need to climb the corporate ladder, you need to be super successful, your job is your title, it is who you are. You know, it's just like none of that matters to me at this point, because I'm on the other side of it. I feel like there's something about going through motherhood that completely wrecks you down to your core, and then whatever you build up after that is like who you are. I don't know if this is making any sense. But okay, like one thing that I learned during the phases of motherhood, especially in the very beginning when it's brutal, that first year, you feel like a failure as a person because you can't get anything done. Looking back on it now, I would get so incredibly frustrated and feel so defeated that I couldn't finish a single thing from beginning to end. And I was beginning to think like, oh, this is a problem with me. Like maybe I have ADHD or something. But then after that first year, when your baby's not a baby and they start to get a little more independent, you realize, oh, I can finish washing the dishes in the sink, and I can finish this project that I started when I'm not being interrupted with like great needs all the time, every few minutes. And another example, not that I've done this myself, but I have a friend that's doing a PhD, and then like listening to her talk about herself and say that she's a lazy person and that she doesn't have a lot of drive. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're doing a PhD. Like once you're done with this, you're going to realize, oh, I have all of this energy and life back to me that I just want to go and do crazy things again. I just think a lot of the times when we're going through kind of harder things, you don't necessarily realize the burden that is on your shoulders and weighing you down. But the funny thing is that our culture doesn't let you go during that time. You have to carve out that space for yourself. It's crazy to me that the few moms that on maternity leave will go out and like start a whole new business, or you know, they go and like run marathons, or they go and do crazy things, and that's great for those people. But it also kind of sets up this expectation that everybody has to be a super mom, and everybody has to have that capacity, and everybody has to like have some grand achievement, and look at all this time off that you're getting, when it's like, this should be the opposite. I don't know. I just feel like I've already unfortunately realized the fact that I want what I want from life. You know, like I don't want to waste my one life that I get to live working 40 hours a week to make other people rich. And I don't want to burn myself out just to appease to other people's expectations of me. That just does not appeal to me anymore. I want to spend all of my energy when I have it on investing myself in the people that I love and that are in my life, and investing it into the things that I care about, and setting my own goals that I actually do want to achieve, and not just the goals that society thinks that I should have, if that makes sense. I think there is definitely something that's a little hard in the beginning about being able to shed all of that, shed the expectations, carve out the space for yourself. It's not easy. I definitely come from this weird perfectionist mentality, and like I've always had it and I've always struggled with it. But again, like something about going through the last 10 years that I have gone through, I just don't care anymore. I realized a while ago that the way that I was living was not sustainable, and I started to crave something else. When your biggest goals in life are to have simplicity, to have things slow down, to have things be easier, like that's when you know that something has to change. And then once you do the hard work of making all of that space for yourself and figuring that out, then it just all becomes so much easier and more beautiful. And again, to me, it's like about the ability to focus on the things that actually do matter to you and the things that you want to achieve. And then once you do, they make a huge difference in your life and you're just happier. And then not only that, it's that whole idea of like filling your own cup up, and then you can fill the cup up of your family and your children and just the things that you can achieve that will make a bigger difference in life, I feel. I am done rambling. I'm going to finish laundry.
Good morning. It is the next morning. We are trying to get ready to go to the library. Surprise! We go there like every single weekend now. But I always like to exchange our books because we've read these ones at least 3 times each now, and it's time to go get some new ones. We're really lucky because Vancouver has a lot of libraries all around, and like we have 3 different ones that are easily accessible to us. But I'm just gonna go to the closest one because I don't have the most energy in the world. We've just had a really nice chill morning this whole time. They actually just had their timer go off for their relaxation time. So now we're gonna go do this. And then we have a block party later today, which is one of my very favorite things about this area. They have legit block parties like back in the 90s. They just put flyers up around the neighborhood and then everybody comes. You bring some snacks if you want to. And it's just so fun. They usually have a fire truck that comes. I don't know if one's coming today. I shouldn't say that. But they just have lots of games and there's so many kids running around and it is a blast. Looking forward to that. And then Billy actually gets home tonight. Unexpected. I didn't think he'd be back for another 2 days, so this is nice. It does mean that he did get cut from the audition, but it happens. There are legitimately auditions that they have a whole first round and they take 0 people from it because they auto advance people to the final round and they already know who they want. Not saying that's what happened with this audition. I truly don't know yet. I don't have the information, but like it just happens. Anyways, we gotta go. We are home. We left the house for 5 hours. I'm now in my sweatpants because I don't know. It's just being on your period makes you want to be. It's so cozy. And I thought it was going to be like a chilly autumn overcast day. No, it was so sunny and beautiful all day long. Like I went out in a sweater this morning and immediately turned around and brought my sweater back inside. Ridiculous. I'm going to feed my sourdough starter. I don't like putting my starter into the fridge unless it is really nice and full and ready to go. Because the worst is when you want to use it for something and then you realize you need to feed it and wait. Now, this is definitely my hack on that. Don't ever put it in your fridge empty. So we're just gonna chill out, have some lunch at 4 o'clock. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. I need to rethink my plans here. And then we're just gonna chill for the rest of the day, take it really easy, maybe play with some of our neighbor friends and go to bed. Billy's getting home tonight, but thanks for coming along and listening to me ramble. Anyways, let me know if you enjoy this old style YouTube video. The style of all social media, but even YouTube, is just so crazy fast-paced, ADHD, and like you kind of have to if you want to make it a huge production, but I don't know, that's just obviously not my style. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye!